Shields up, Ironbreakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Demon's Souls remake for the PlayStation 5. This game, as well as the console itself, were sent to me by PlayStation Portugal so that I could give them a look and tell you guys my opinions on it. I will be making a separate video talking specifically about the PlayStation 5 hardware and the PlayStation 5 software and how I feel about them once I get a little more hands-on time with the console itself, because, you know, I really want to put it through its paces and see the whole experience before I, actually say, okay, here's what I feel about this console. But in regards to Demon's Souls, I know that there's a lot of people that have been asking for a spoiler-free video from me, just kind of like talking about the game without necessarily showing too much gameplay. So in this video, all of the gameplay that you're going to be watching is going to be from World 1.1. So this gives you the least amount of spoilers possible while still allowing you to get a good look at what the level looks like, so that you can kind of like compare it with what it used to look like back on the PlayStation 3, and you can see what the new visuals look like, what the new animations look like, because there are new animations, and you can get a feel for the game without necessarily getting spoiled to the later levels. And some of you might even be wondering, well, why does it matter? Games like from 2009, who cares about spoilers at this point? A lot of people still do. Okay, a lot of people still do, like I do. Like if I wasn't doing content, I would have not watched a single video on it. If I wasn't producing content about the game, I would have gone in completely fresh, because that's the best way to experience it. And there's also people that didn't play the game back in 2009 that, want a little bit of a different take on it without necessarily spoiling everything. Having said that, though, if you want to see more gameplay, there's like over 8 hours of live streams in the channel that should give you a pretty good idea of what the game looks like and the different levels, what the gameplay is like, even though there's a lot of me dying in Valley of Defilement, but it is what it is. In case you guys are wondering what levels I've done so far, before making this video, I did 1-1, 1-2, 2-1, 5-1, and a significant chunk of 5-2, even though I did not unlock the shortcut, but I did get the Moonlight Greatsword, which was a lot of fun. So those are all of the bosses that I've done so far. That's how much I've played of the game so far. And you might think, well, eight hours seems like a long time for the few things that you've done. Yes, because I'm going to be taking my sweet time with it. I'm going to be savoring this game like it's fine wine. And if it takes me a full year to finish the playthrough, which probably won't, but if it takes me much longer than anybody else, I don't care. Because all I care is about having fun with it and just enjoying the experience, because we've been waiting a long time for this. And I'm not going to be eating it like friggin' McDonald's, okay? This is not fast food. This is a fine steak. I've already mentioned this at the start of my last live stream, but anyway, just figured I'd mention it again. So let's talk about this. Is the Demon's Souls remake worth it? That is going to be the question in a lot of people's minds, because, maybe you already know that, okay, I'm going to buy the PlayStation 5 no matter what. I just want to know if I should get Demon's Souls or not. Or is it worth it to like get a PlayStation 5 for Demon's Souls? And it's like, look, like I've always said, I usually don't tend to get a console for one game. I did that once and I regret it heavily because it was scale bound and I got real burned. So yeah, that's not something that I would advise. I would advise you to first see if there's like at least 2-3 games that you want to get on the console, then maybe think about getting the console and then check out the reviews and whatnot that people are talking about it. But if you've already made the decision, and I was just wondering, okay, so should I get Demon's Souls? So let me start by telling you guys the things that I don't like about the Demon's Souls remake. And this is not an insignificant thing. I've talked about this at length in one of my Twitch live streams. I do not like what they did with the Digital Deluxe Edition. For those of you that are not aware, the Digital Deluxe Edition includes several exclusive items that will not be available to players that do not get this edition of the game, which I think is pretty self-explanatory why I wouldn't like that. The first time that we've had that in a Souls game was Dark Souls 2, where they gave us a bunch of shields and starter weapons that you could get at the very beginning of the game, and I wasn't a fan of it back then either. I just don't like this idea in a Souls game that there is gear there that you cannot acquire unless, you get these special editions of the game. I've never been a fan of it. There's already an item that you can only get if you pre-order the game, I believe, which is like this scythe thing. I don't have those in my version, and I'm not salty about it because even if I had them, I wasn't going to use them because of reason number 2 why I think that this is a bad thing, which is it kind of breaks the original progression of the game, which when you take into account that whenever you see an interview about this game, the developers are talking about trying to recreate the authenticity and the lengths that they went to recreate the authentic experience that was Demon Souls back in the day. And they've done an outstanding job. Like, don't get me wrong, they've done an outstanding job. Like, I was even reading an interview where the developers specifically state, like, look, the animations are different, but they take as long as they did back in the game so that the gameplay feels exactly the same. We're using the same code that they used for the combat of Demon Souls, which I thought was friggin' impressive. The level of authenticity that they're going with the recreation of the game, that to then just kind of like cheapen that by introducing these items at a premium, which not only is not available to the entirety of the player base, but also changes your early game progression. If you go and you watch Fightin' Cowboy's Let's Play, which I would recommend, you'll notice that when he gets to the Nexus, he equips some of this gear and then goes on to destroy pretty much anything that stands in his path. Now, naturally, Fightin' Cowboy also has experience on his side because he's played Souls games for a long time. It's not the first time that he's playing Demon Souls or anything like that, but even he noticed that, like, wow, this is really powerful. The combination of this armor and this weapon, it's pretty beast. I'm beasting through this level. And it's one of those things, right? Like, once you progress through the game, you'll find better things and, you start getting the natural progression of things. I just find that this type of early equipment doesn't really have a place when it comes to Souls games. And considering how much the developers work towards making the experience authentic, to be basically as similar as it could be to when to the very first time that people played Demon Souls back in like 2009 or whatever, it just kind of feels off that this type of stuff is there, right? But ultimately, once you get past that, what can I really tell you? The game is freaking amazing. I love it. I'm having a complete blast with it. It's just like a rush of nostalgia whenever I get to a new level, because I remember the basic layout on some of the levels, with the exception of the 5-1, because I could not recognize anything from that level. I've been there so few times. Usually I tend to spend much more time in some of the other levels. But yeah, I died a lot in 5-1. But basically it's like every time you get to a new level, you're like, the basic layout of the map, but you see it in this brand new shiny coat of paint, and it just looks gorgeous. And whenever you attack an enemy and you see, for instance, like a riposte, or whenever you see a backstab or something of a weapon that you thought you knew, and then you look at it and you're like, but it's different because they did change. They changed some of these animations. They did motion capture. They changed some of the stuff around, but the animations themselves, they play out at the same speed that they would play in the original Demon Souls, to make sure that they maintain the rhythm and the pace of the combat. Like I said at the start of the video, they're using the same code that they used in Demon Souls, so everything is going to feel pretty much the same. That includes the AI of the monsters as well, because again, it is meant to be this authentic recreation, and visually, I think it's great. And that's been one of the things that I find kind of weird throughout my live streams, because I see people saying the game looks bad, and I'm just like, is there something wrong with your eyes? Like, look at it. Just look at it in this video. Like, I realized that in a live stream, it's not going to look as nice as in a video because YouTube is transcoding the information in real time. They don't really have time to process the video that is being sent it properly. And there's just stuff about live that is never going to look as well as in a video, but still the game looks awesome. The art direction that they took, I also really like it. Now, I understand that some people prefer the older art direction in the game. And there are some filters in the game that kind of like will get you closer to what the game used to look like. But ultimately, the game is going to look different because they remade all of the assets in the game. There's stuff that is not going to look exactly the same. The only thing that's going to be the same is like the overall map layouts. Those are going to be the same, but everything else is going to look different and new. And personally, I think that's a good thing. I like the interpretation that they've done of the source material, and you can tell that there was a lot of passion put in the game, which is why I'm always thrown back whenever I see people say that the game looks bad. I'm like, what? Like, I really don't understand that take. I just don't get it. Like, maybe you're seeing something different than what I'm seeing. I don't understand. But like, from an animation standpoint, from a combat standpoint, from just about everything visually, it's outstanding. From everything, from a sound, it's also amazing. The sounds themselves are different. They remastered some of the sounds, they re-recorded some of the sounds. Like one of the things that I noticed, like a little detail that I found amazing, was just the sound of crossbows. The sound, them loading a crossbow, like that sound is so much more realistic now. And the sound of the bolts clanking against your shield and whatnot. The sound of the blue knights and the red knights breathing through the armor, like there's just so much detail in the sound as well that is just like completely mind-blowing. The music is also good. It's like there's nothing really that I can complain about it personally. Like, I'm having a blast, and like I said, I'm basically savoring it. It just feels great to play this classic in a modern way. Now, again, there are purists and there are people that are going to be like, yeah, I like the old one better. And it's like, sure, fine, play the old one. It's available. You can play it right now if you have a PlayStation 3. I like this one. Like, I think it's great. Like, I think the old one was great for the time. I think this one, this modernized interpretation of it, is exactly what I've wanted. And there's also one improvement that I have to bring up that is a massive deal, which is the firing of ranged weapons. Like, it feels so much better, so much more precise. I don't know what they changed, but firing a bow in this Demon Souls and firing a bow in the previous Demon Souls, literally night and day. Try it for yourself. If you get the game, try it for yourself, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's different. I can't explain what they did, but it just feels much better. Like, I actually used the bow while I was doing Valley of Defilement to, I did a little bit of cheese because I went in there way too early. I shouldn't have gone there as early as I did. And that's when I noticed, Jesus Christ, the bow in here feels friggin' great. Like, it almost makes me want to do a bow only run or something. Like, it's that good. Like, I feel like I could potentially play through the whole game just using the bow, which I would have never thought previously. Like, sure, I did that in Dark Souls. And even in Dark Souls, in a lot of situations, it didn't feel great. But, dude, it feels friggin' amazing. I don't know what it is about it. But yeah, basically, this is a very easy recommendation for me because I'm able to overlook the stuff that they did with pre-order bonuses and digital deluxe editions if it means that we get a game of this quality with this level of authenticity. And you can tell that there was a lot of love put into this game. There's no way that you recreate something with this level of precision without actually really appreciating the original work. At least that's my thoughts on it. I know that there's some people that have some very different feelings in regards to this remake, but that's personally where I stand. It's the type of game that I can't wait to get back to and play pretty much every single day. I'm actually thinking about making like a secondary character to play off stream. Because I'm just having so much fun re-exploring this world. Like, I purposefully stayed away from Demon Souls from the moment that this was announced because I wanted to like almost forget some stuff. It was actually really cool when I was going through Valley of Defilement. Like, I forgot the Leechmonger was there. I forgot about him. And then suddenly I ran into him and I was like, oh my God, I forgot this boss. No. And I got my ass beat. It was just, it's amazing. And I think that you guys can tell, like if you're watching the stream, it's very easy to tell whether or not I'm enjoying a game because I don't do the the acting thing. I don't do the over exaggerated thing. It's just like what you see is what you get. And I'm greatly enjoying it. And this was the game that I was mostly excited for on the PlayStation 5. And for the foreseeable future, I think it's going to be the game that's going to see the most playtime for me. Like, don't get me wrong, Miles Morales is a ton of fun. I greatly enjoy it. Godfall, I'm still figuring it out. We'll make a video about that today as well, probably. But Demon Souls is Demon Souls, and like Demon Souls is originally one of the 3 games that sold me on the PlayStation 3. So I am biased towards it, by the way. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think that Demon Souls is the perfect game, right? Like, I'm well aware of Demon Souls' flaws. I even like the Dark Souls. I've always said I like Dark Souls more than Demon Souls, but replaying Demon Souls with new visuals and whatnot is just very special. And I think it's well worth it, even though I also think it's very expensive. So consider your finances as well, because PlayStation 5 games are looking pretty expensive. So, you know, keep that in mind, whether or not you can afford it or not. But I'll be live streaming it, so you guys can still watch it and then pick it up later at a sale if you're low on funds or something. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. I'll probably be following up this video with an actual review once we finish the game. But for now, those are my thoughts. Greatly enjoying it and can't wait to get back to it. Peace out, team.